So like, let's just go through the basics. We see like the sun move throughout the day, right? So it's over our head at noon, and it sets. Then it rises, head at noon, sets, right? Okay, they say it's because the Earth is spinning, right? Okay, we're trying to figure out if that's true. Long story short, you've never felt the Earth spinning, or seen the Earth spinning, or measuring. We do everything as if the Earth is not spinning, but they're claiming that it is spinning. They're claiming it's so big you just can't tell. So we're trying to find evidence, and that's the question of the day. If we're actually tilted on an axis, wobbling, spinning, revolving around the sun's dragging us through the galaxy at 500,000 miles an hour, and then our galaxy is going through the universe at 1.2 million miles an hour. There should be some type of evidence of that. We should have measured it with interferometry. We should be able to measure that the Earth is moving, right? But we can't. It's never been measured. So the question is, can you provide exclusive evidence that the Earth is in motion? Can you provide any actual exclusive evidence that the Earth is in motion? Period. Obviously, I'm not just talking about the orbit. I'm talking about any motion. How do we not got a baller in here that wants to defend the motion? No motion? You guys have no exclusive evidence of any of the motion? It's rough. I mean, you got to have something. I mean, to believe something so preposterous, you would have to have some, like, actual evidence of that, right? Like, what? Damn, 2024 is rough for you guys. You guys know you can't even come here and defend the rotation at this point? Back in the day, if you ever said, so do you have any evidence the Earth is actually moving? Do you have any evidence of actual rotation? They would have been chomping at the bit. You know what I'm saying? Just so ready to say the word pendulum or ring laser gyro. Like, what happened? What happened, guys?
Time and time and time, and flat earthers always say, but can you feel the Earth move? Of course we can't, because we're in constant motion, which according to physics means we may as well be stationary. Constant uniform motion means we feel it. And it is the same as saying
that we're not moving.
The orbital velocity of Earth gets faster and slower as it orbits the Sun because of its elliptical orbit. Constant motion. Earth gets faster and slower.
Constant uniform motion.
How do you measure motion? Well, we have different ways, right? We have different ways to measure motion. Okay? If we try every single one of the ways we can, it shows that it's not moving. So that would be evidence that it. As to the question of whether or not we can actually detect or perceive the alleged motion of the Earth in an experiment on the Earth, we've already remarked that measure led to a negative result, meaning we weren't able to actually ever detect, perceive, or measure the motion of the Earth. Two sentences, quote, the sun is at rest and the Earth moves, or the sun moves and the Earth is at rest, would simply mean two different conventions concerning two different coordinate systems, Albert Einstein and the Evolution of Physics, 1938. Of course, relativity is still used to this day as the glue for this entire claim that we're flying through space and just can't tell. Since then, I've come to believe motion of the Earth. If we try to measure something to see if it's moving, and we get no movement,
then it's not moving.
Do you ever experience that the Earth is moving? Of course not. We can stack rocks up. We actually notice when the Earth moves, it's called an earthquake, right? Because it's actually moving from its previous stationary position. We can going up just straight up in the air. From our observation, it's not moving. Now, the globe claims it is, you just can't tell. Okay, maybe so. But you have to verify that, you have to give us some type of evidence to truly substantiate that, because the default position based on all empirical evidence, whether that be how we shoot missiles, how we fly planes, how we fly helicopters, how we do anything, we assume that the Earth is stationary, and how we even look at anything in quote unquote space is we assume the Earth's in the center and stationary. So if you're going to claim that's actually just this claim of motion of this globe Earth model was actually verified, right? I mean, that's basic logic. Still can't tell, can't measure, can't detect it. No anyway, ever actually proven, detected, measured, or even caused us to perceive this alleged motion. That means that if you believe in this belief system, you must acknowledge you cannot actually verify your belief system. That it's a blind belief, right? Instead of being like, yeah, that's right, we haven't ever done that, they have to avoid it so that they can turn around in another instance and claim that all those very things in fact have happened. And that means that you're bad faith, you're intellectually dishonest, you're disingenuous, that you have to lie to represent your position. That's what it means objectively. That you have to use bad faith tactics to try to represent your position. If flat earth is so archaic and stupid and easily disproven, and the globe earth is so scientific, and that's why all the scientists agree, and you can destroy flat earth in your sleep,
then why would you have to do all of that?
To the open-minded party that's maybe like on the fence, think about that. Wait, is it true or is it not true that you can't actually detect or measure the Earth's motion? And why is it that you guys can't just easily and immediately concede that? Right, because if you have the truth,
There'll be nothing to hide.
Everybody can be
Against it. Dear, oh dear. Whitsitt is very, very good at retaining information, and he speaks well, using complex words while sounding confident, yet in reality he knows nothing more than a primary school child. So what did you think of Whitsitt's quote mining?
quote mining or cherry picking is when you would go read that quote in context and it would actually contradict the point that was invoked to make. Meaning, if I make an argument and I back it up with a quote, if you go look at the quote and it doesn't back up the argument I said, then that would be quote mining. If I had said, for example, whenever I say with the quote, I've come to the conclusion that no optical experiment can detect the motion of the Earth, although the Earth revolves around the sun. Okay? Now, if I say, even Einstein said that you can't detect the motion of the Earth with any actual experiment on the Earth, and then I invoked, what was the claim that I made that I invoked Einstein to support? That even Einstein admitted, implying that even though that is obviously someone that believes in your position, but not only someone that believes in it, someone that helped build it, and his theory is still the glue and staple of your position, so it's like the strongest hostile witness that you could possibly have, right? Even he admits that although he believes it and created entire theories to keep it alive, you can't actually verify it with any type of experiment to detect the motion of the Earth. It's
Not possible.
That's the point. So when you go read it and it says, haha, stupid flurf, it says that although the Earth moves around the sun, you're so stupid. No, that would make you ignorant, because that is irrelevant and doesn't in any way combat the point being made that the quote was invoked to support.
He acts like we don't understand it, but it's really just about logic. Like, that's actually what it comes down to.
Don't you guys think it's super telling that they have to stick with to address the like damning nature of the point? They have to like just get rid of it and not acknowledge it at all by claiming it's like quote mining or whatever. They don't actually address the point.
Well, because relativity is kind of just based off of gaslighting and thought experiments, the only way to really defend it is to, because when you look at the history of it, you look at the experiments that are, that directly contradict it. The only way to interpret those experiments is to just defy logic, enter paradoxes, and leave the lab frame. You just give up that lab frame for free.
So you see, you can't be dead. You can't be. Because I love you.
What? Of course we have evidence. What do you mean by exclusive? I mean, what else is it? Like, of course it's exclusive. The evidence that the Earth is moving, and there's tons of evidence that the Earth is moving. We can use a ring laser gyroscope on the Earth, and we can actually detect that the Earth is moving 15 degrees per hour. Thanks, Bob. So, there you go. Have you not ever seen Behind the Curve, bro? So, we measure 15 degrees per hour. I mean, there's a whole Netflix.
Which measurement was that? Because with the documentary, right? Like, I would never go to court and bring as my evidence a documentary series that appeals to emotions. measurement, and I would show how that measurement was taken, and then I would show how that measurement directly correlates to the line of logic that I'm trying to draw. So can you do that? Can you show me a specific measurement that was made that showed the 15 degrees per hour with the ring laser gyro? And then still we have to talk about orthogonal issue with east-west thing.
Okay, you're just saying a bunch of big words to try to sound smart and you're scattergunning, okay? So you've obviously been listening to Wits It Gets It. You just think that you can just say words, a bunch of word salad, and then somehow you're gonna woo the audience. We've all seen the Netflix series. Everyone knows that the Earth spins 15 degrees per hour. Thanks, Bob. We already measured it. Okay.
I love you.
Yes, Baller Allen. Please go, Baller Allen.
Yeah.
This is Baller Allen, Toby. I have a question for you about Nicholson Gale Pearson.
They're not coming on, right? It's like, what are we supposed to do other than act like that?
Now get up.
So you know how they always say, oh, well, no evidence for a flat Earth? Again, it's like, no, you mean like
Literally all evidence that exists in the history of mankind. Like, literally.
focus on the falsification part of it, right? That's how an intellectually honest person will go about it. You know, so when we pin them down the falsification, we get crickets. The ring laser gyro not only doesn't prove the Earth is rotating, it does the exact opposite. It does the exact opposite. Interferometry measurements are the enemy of the globe model. Compartmentalize this. You're not going to frantically look for some other. How would seasons work on a flat Earth? You're not going to change the subject and think about some other way to bring something else in, or just pretend you didn't hear it, or be like, well, this flat Earther can't be right. You're just going to be honest, accept the truth for what it is, and be like, okay, it can't be the Earth spinning. So I'm no longer going to claim that the gyroscope detects the Earth spinning, because it can't be. We've just proven it. It's very telling that everyone in the chat that believes in the globe and all that, none of them can acknowledge the answer. Every single one of them are changing the subject. So you have to completely yourself. How do you know that you're not a truther then? You know that you're not actually looking for the truth of the situation. Either you're like, okay, I need to figure out how this does work with a spinning globe, or accept that it clearly doesn't and it falsifies it. Okay? But those are the only two options that are honest. Otherwise, you're lying to yourself. You have cognitive dissonance. This information makes you uncomfortable because it doesn't comport to your worldview or your belief. And so you're trying to just desperately bring something else up to convince yourself that you know that the Earth is a spinning globe. Just really think about what we're saying. There's no way out. They hijacked the stationary Earth, just like they hijacked the flat Earth and say, yeah, sure, you have to treat it like it's stationary. Sure, we have to measure it like it's flat. But actually, I promise it's curved. I promise it's spinning. Trust me, here's my story. We took their story, we sifted through it, we found out the measurements they claim to support their story specifically refute their story. And that's just the way that it goes. Doesn't matter what anyone else say about it. So seek and speak truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. So who cares what other people think? They've been wrong throughout all of history. People are collectively not the brightest, right? They hand over their critical thinking to other people. Who cares what those people think? Who cares if they arrogantly pretend that they're smarter than you because they have the it's just really stupid and lame and no one cares. And in reality, they secretly admire you for being bold enough to independently think for yourself, and they see your pattern recognition, they see that you don't conform, and they actually like you. They actually wish that they were bold enough to do that. They'll just never say it. So just understand that and speak the truth.
Because what's true is rarely popular, and what's popular is rarely true.
Show the Earth is not moving around the sun, and what your position did, if we're going to apply Occam's razor, if we use highly precise interferometry that should be decisive, quote unquote, from Einstein, over 10 times more sensitive than it needs to be to detect the orbit of the Earth, and it shows the Earth is stationary, Occam's razor would say stationary. What did your side do? Throughout all of physics, throughout Newtonian mechanics, came up with a brand new idea. Space-time geometry that bends and warps, and actually, even though we're curving around the sun, we're not curving, we're going straight. We're going straight in an orbit, and then we're free-falling through a geodesic path, and we weren't able to detect it because it's just linear motion, and the interferometry can't detect it.
Then in 2004, we actually detected linear motion with the interferometry by weighing, which even disproves that explanation. So there is no way the Earth is orbiting. It's a fact. So your subjective opinion of how you think it's cognitive doesn't in any way that the physical measurements.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin.